Alright, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be talking about how I am a 21-year-old virgin. So let's get started. Here are my stats. So I am 5'9", with shoes on I'm 5'10", so that rounds up to 6 feet and 6 inches. Those are two separate measurements. And my body mass index is 24.10. Which seems kind of obese, but it actually isn't really accurate because I do work out a little bit. And that's kind of reflected on my body fat percentage, which is 17.1% using the bioelectrical impedance analysis. And then for my occupation right now, I'm a student. I'm also employed part-time, and I am a full-time feminist, and I'm also a minority. Alright, moving on to experience collected. So I've never kissed before, so I got no XP there, but I do remember a very long time ago, I believe this was in preschool, I have this distinct memory of crying in the principal's office, and there's this one redhead girl right next to me, and I'm pointing to her, and I'm like, this girl forced me to kiss her. Now, if that is the case, I did kiss someone, but it was not consensual, therefore I only get 50% of the XP. And I've actually also been hugged by many women. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it is what it is type shit. And then I've actually been asked to prom, which was very surprising because it made me realize, hey, maybe I'm not ugly as shit, So it was very nice, but it was very awkward. I've never danced before, or at least professionally. And so when we got to the part where we danced, I was just like holding her. Like, it was so awkward. Like, I was just like, I don't know. And I was trying my best. And then there's this fat, dude who's also a homosexual. Nothing wrong with that. He started laughing at me. So I'm like, damn, bruh. Like, chill. But anyways, after that whole event was over, she did try to contact me a little bit, but she had her own boyfriends or whatnot. So, it never really, it never came to anything. So my only dating experience happened when this girl from my college class, we were both in that class. I thought she was cute, but she had a mask on, so all I really saw was her big ass forehead. But she was pretty cute, and she was like, "Hey, do you have Snapchat?" And I was like, "For sure." And when she added me on there, she started snapping me, and I snapped back. It was this whole thing. She started saying good morning, all that shit. She was like, "Hey, what you doing?" Like every 2 minutes, and I was like, you know me. I'm just at the gym type shit. And eventually got to the point where it was about 4 months, this whole fiasco. And not even a month in, I'd say, she introduced me to her parents or grandparents or siblings. I thought this was genuine, I thought this was the real deal. And, I sacrificed so much for this chick. Like, there was this pivotal moment where I could have moved with my family out of this current location that I am in that I'm not really fond of. But I didn't. And I've been waiting my entire life to move, and I didn't. And this is the part that kills me. It was a valuable lesson to learn, but I've sacrificed that much, and part of me just died inside. And I don't think I ever recovered from that. But anyways, when we decided to continue on our relationship over the summer, there was a point where there was a 1 week break. And this was a text message that, all the guys get. This is universal. So I told her, hey, I'm going to go to this party where all my friends from college are coming home, and it's going to be great. And I told her, hey, I'm going to be there for a couple hours, so I might not text you back, quickly or whatnot. And once I get there, I get this text. And, she asked, hey, do you want to be just friends? Because this class that we're both taking together is being stressful. So I was like, okay. I mean, I was being nonchalant. I was like, all right. And we stopped talking for a week. It's whatever. And after that 1 week of no contact, she reached out again. She was like, hey, like, how's it going? Like, do you want to hang out? And I was like, yeah. And I remember this one very awkward moment. Like, she came to my house, and then, actually the front of my house, and we were just like standing there, and she was like, "Hey, I really missed you." And I didn't know what to say. I was like, "Yeah, I miss you too." I was just awkwardly standing there waiting for her to leave, get on my drive-through. I'm sorry, not my drive-through, my driveway. And that's the part that haunts me. It was very awkward. But eventually, I was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out again?" And we did, and we started, going on dates. And this is the key part, the most memorable part of this entire relationship, if you even call it that. I was like, "Hey, I'll take you on a date to a nice restaurant." And the whole time that we were there, she was texting this person. And I kid you not, this person was her guy best friend. And, for a second I believed it. And it was very disrespectful because the whole time that we were there, she was just texting. She was texting her guy best friend. She wasn't really, conversing with me. She did take a couple photos and then send it to her grandparents, like, "Hey, I'm on this date with this guy." But overall, I just felt really disrespected by this whole thing because, I'm taking her out to a nice place to eat. The bill came out to about, I don't know, $50-$60. Now, mind you, this is not at a big city. So if it was at a big city, it's probably, I don't know, to adjust it, it's probably like, I don't know, $70-$80. But anyways, after, I paid for the entire meal. Like, I was very unhappy, but I still paid because that's just the right thing to do. And after that, I just stopped talking to her because I was just really, disrespected. And turns out the guy best friend that she was texting to was, it was her boyfriend the entire time. It was her long distance boyfriend that she had, didn't tell me about it. There were so many red flags. Like, God, it's awful. Like, one of the first things she said is, "Oh, I've dated tons of guys." She was very comfortable about that. She did mention like she was a virgin too, so that was the part where I'm like, maybe the dates didn't go that well. Maybe she just needs a guy that to treat her right. I learned my lesson. I remember her Snap score was like 500,000, which I don't know. Some people say they have millions or whatever. I've never really used Snap, but I assume that's pretty high. And it's not the Snap score that was bothering me, but the people that she was snapping. There was one memorable case where she shared her experience snapping this older gentleman that, snapped a picture of him skinny dipping in a pool. And she openly shared it with me and said she was uncomfortable about it. And I like, how did he have your snap? And why did he snap you that picture? And why are you continuing to talk to him? I'm so lost, And there was another case where her ex-boyfriend was caught because he was selling meth. I don't know what it is, but she kept on bringing that up over and over again. And it's to the point where she'd say the guy's name, and I was like, "Who is that?" Because I don't care. Like, that's her ex. Like, that means nothing to me. I'm gonna treat her better. I'm gonna be the guy that she that she needs. Like, but whatever. And she said his name, and I didn't know who it was, and then she was shocked that I didn't know his name. Like, bitch, I don't care. Like, I really don't give a shit. Like, the whole I don't know if you even call it a relationship. It was terrible, man. And I've never told anyone this, this entire thing, because it's very humiliating that I sacrificed so much. I've waited like over 10 years to get out of the place that I was in, and I had this opportunity, yet I turned it down because of this chick, and I regret it so much every single day. It hurts. I feel like I'm a stupid guy. Like, man, it's just, I don't know, it just blew me away. It was like she had a long distance boyfriend the entire time. Like, fuck, like that was, yeah, that fucked me up. So I mean, I learned a lot of things, but I think this whole experience definitely led to why I didn't want to pursue another relationship, and it really fundamentally changed how I thought about everything, like relationships, marriage, approaching women. Like, sorry, I live in the hood. I don't know what the fuck was happening there, but it's just what it is, So, all right, moving on to bonus experience. So, I had been called cute before online. It was through Reddit and Discord, and I've also been called cute in person as well. It was actually a friend who was a woman that was trying to link me with her friend as well, who was also a woman. And indirectly, that means, she was telling me that she, her friend called me cute. Therefore, she called me cute, like indirectly. So therefore, I have been called cute by, a woman. So there you go. Maybe, I'm not ugly as shit. So moving on, I have been called conventionally attractive before, and I don't know what the fuck that means. It just sounds like an insult, right? Instead of calling someone hot or attractive, you just call them conventionally attractive. Like okay, bitch, like go fuck yourself. Like I guess you're conventionally a hoe. Like I don't understand what the fuck that means. And there was a part where I shared that I had a zero body count, and two women, like women were surprised that I had a zero body count. So, I don't know if they were surprised because, maybe they thought, I would have a zero body count, or maybe they were surprised that, it was 2 a.m. in the park, I had this one woman with huge personalities. Oh my God. And she questioned if I was a homosexual. I was not very insecure about it. I was like, no, I'm not gay. I'm into girls. But God, her boobs were fucking huge, man. Like they were fucking bowling balls. Like, and at that pivotal moment, I realized, is there an evolutionary advantage to huge breasts? And if it is, what are the benefits? So, like from the evolutionary standpoint, is it plausible to hypothesize that bigger tits mean, they would be a better mother? And if that is the case, right, then how come our society nowadays aren't filled with a bunch of women with huge personalities? All right, moving on to the last slide. It is what it is, man. Like at the end of the day, I don't think I'm super fucking ugly because, I'm not super overweight. I'm not, super stinky. I always shower. I always, make sure I take care of myself a little bit. There was a point in my life, though, where I got a bunch of shitty ass tattoos that I'm removing at the moment, and I will make a video on this, but it fucked me up because, I had a previous mental scenario where I was just going through a ton of shit, and I thought getting tattoos would help it, but it in fact, did not at all. It did, the exact opposite. So I've been going through this right now, so I feel like I need to take care of that first, although tattoo removal does take years. So, it might be years before I feel confident again and get mentally healthy. But I think the most important thing is I truly believe in God. I believe God is real. I believe Jesus is real. And I fear God. I am a sinner. Everyone is a sinner, but I've sinned a lot, and I'm very fearful of that. And I don't want to ever sleep with a bunch of women because that's just more sins. There's a part, I don't know what it is, but you're not even worthy or as worthy as the sandal that was on Jesus's feet. So that really stood out to me because that's absolutely right. I'm like nothing. I'm just like I'm nothing compared to God's glory as well as his wrath. Even though he does have mercy, I'm very scared. I genuinely believe there was a couple women that were interested in me, but I was very judgmental and I was very I don't know. I don't think I really took the hint because now that I look back, there were a lot of girls my age while I was in like middle school or high school that would add me on social media, and I don't know what that meant. At the time I was like, maybe they just want to see what I look like, but that wouldn't make sense because they were in my classes. So maybe they were interested, or maybe they just added me because they wanted more followers. I don't know, but it's just one of the things where you think about like, maybe they were actually interested in me and they were waiting for me to make the first move. And in that case, well, I'm glad, I didn't, because, now I have a bunch of shitty ass tattoos that I'm removing and I look like shit, and I feel like shit. So I feel like, I need to take care of myself take care of myself first before I, actually try to go for a relationship. I also really liked that one scene in Avatar where it was like, I don't know, this sounds so fucking stupid and I would never let my homies know, but there's a part where like the main character, I don't know her name, the blue alien girl, she like connects with the humanoid, the human avatar, and like in that movie, once you do that, once you make that one connection, that's it. Like that's the only person that you can ever be with your entire life. So for me, I feel like sex should be after marriage because of my religion, and also I like the idea of just having sex with one person. I feel like humans in general are a monogamous, creature. We are monogamous. We're not meant to have a bunch of partners, even though, you could argue that, from an evolutionary standpoint, that would be the case. But I truly believe that we were meant to have one partner because we were created in the image of God. And I'm fucking scared of God. Like, I know that some of you may not believe in God, but I'm fucking terrified. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, there was one part in my life where I was a kid, I never went to church, and I was like, hey God, if you were real, make this fence move that was, in my backyard. It was chained up and locked, and this fucking fence swung open as soon as I fucking said that, and I had literal fucking chills. Like, I didn't mean to turn this whole presentation into a fucking like sermon, but I truly fear God, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm still a virgin, and I'll still hope to wait for the right person. And I think one last thing is, I truly feel that it is the right thing to do. I feel like once I end up in an actual relationship and I have previously slept with a lot of people, I would feel very guilty and I would feel terrible about myself. And every time I would, initiate sex with this new partner, I would just have all these memories, of having sex with other people. And I cannot stand that, because memories are forever, right? Like, it's one of those things where it'll never go away unless you get a fucking lobotomy or some shit. But, I don't want to ever experience that guilt that I possibly could have for my future partner. So, at the end of the day, I would like to say that being a virgin is my decision. But I know that if I ever really needed a reality check, it's because I'm a pussy. I don't really reach out to women. I've always been shy. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm just trying to wait for the right person because I feel like it's the right thing to do. So who knows? Maybe I will find that person, maybe not. But whatever the case may be, I know God is watching, and God is for sure watching you.